Okay, one of you asked in the group about lecture note 7, but you answered him that we don't have lecture note 7. It's for this week. We will take lecture note 6 because we just finished lecture note 5 last. This lecture note is short one. We already take some parts from it. For example, toString. What toString method? What is toString method? No, toString method. Anyone tried it? But I mentioned it many times. When you print the object, toString method, it's like you are calling toString method. I mentioned it. When you call toString method, you don't study at all. Okay. We have a class, for example, class X. Okay. So, for example, anything, integer A, void M. Just a class X. We want to use a class X here. We have to create object, yes? X, X1, for example, equal new X. Now, what will happen if I print the object X1? I mentioned it before. When I print the object X1, Java will call method, its name toString method. What toString method? It will print the object, yes? So what's the object? I remember I give it to you and I draw it to you and I show you that the object is a reference, yes? So what's the content of the object? Address to the heap memory that contain its data. So when we print object X, the system will call, or Java will call, toString method, which printing the content of X1, which is the address. So the output you will see here is address of object X1. Okay. We can use toString method to print something else, not the address. So usually in the class, we create toString method. I don't want to repeat it. toString method already exists in Java. If I create a method that have same name like a default method in Java and not same main only, same name, same return value, parameter, same method exactly, then I'm doing something called overriding. What overriding? Takes the effect of the default one, and we would, when Java try to run toString now, it will run this toString method. So what I will do here, I will return the value that I need it to be printed when I print object. For example, okay, this method what doing? Return just a string, hello. So when I print the object, it will look about toString method. Okay, we have toString method. What's this toString method? Don't knock the door. I mentioned it 100 times. Okay, so it will return string or something. It will be printed when I print x1. So print x1 will look x1 what? X1 object. It will look to toString method. What toString method return? Hello. So it will print hello. Why before that it's printed the address, now print hello? Because when I don't have it, Java will call the default one. Default one print the content of x1, which is address, because it's reference to a memory place. But if I have toString method, I override the default one. Override means take its job. Okay, take its job. So now this override to default toString and take its job, so it will print hello. Usually we don't use it to print hello. Usually we use it to print any data from the class. For example, the value of A, then plus A. What's this one? This one will print this text and the value of A when we print the object, because it's return a string. Print takes a string and print it. So the value of A is 10. This is just review for toString because I mentioned it, and I mentioned it this third time I mentioned toString. If you don't want to study, it's up to you. Okay. This, we mentioned it as keyword. We said this means this object of the class. Yes. Now we will take this also as method. What does this mean? Let's take this example. In this example, we have class rectangle, normally class rectangle, have two variables, x, y, and y height. X, y, width, height. We speak about rectangle, yes? Any rectangle has a center point here. We need to know where is the center point and what's the height and depth. The center point means in the coordination where exactly will be drawn this, where we will draw this rectangle. Okay, so we need to take the size from the user, the x, y, with the center point of this rectangle, and width and height. Okay, the width and height for the rectangle. So we have here three. What's this one? Yes, hello. What's this one? Look and think. This rectangle. Yes, constructor. Have a seat, please. Okay, constructor. So we have constructor rectangle because it's a method that have same name like the class. So we have 1, 2, 3 constructors. I told you before that we can have more than one constructor, and we took some examples that have more than one constructor. So how to differentiate? When you call the constructor with a specific parameter, Java will understand which constructor Yes, let's just quickly here create some constructors for Java for this X class. So does it matter? X. Okay, this first constructor, it do not have any parameter. Just print, for example, a message. Okay, let's create another constructor. So same name as the class, but this time with one parameter. Okay, integer, for example, I. Then we will set this dot A, the value of A equal the value of I, that we take it as a passing parameter. Okay. Now, this one, which constructor, when we create the object, the constructor without parameters, this constructor. Let me just print also a message. Here, I will print a message that we are in constructor 2. So we have two constructors. Here, constructor without parameter. Here, constructor with one parameter. We name this constructor. I give it to you before. Constructor overloading. Yes, when you have more than one constructor, but with different parameter. Also, you can have more than one method, but with different parameter with the same name. We name it in the same class also. We name it method overloading. Yes, here constructor overloading. We have two constructor, 3, 4, 5, with different parameters. So when we create object, we use constructor. Here Java will understand which constructor by different parameters. Here, constructor without parameters, so it will call this constructor, constructor 1. So if we see the output, it will print what? Constructor 1. Yes, why? Because we use constructor 1. Constructor 1 printing a message, constructor 1. Okay, if we give one parameter, for example, 5, because we have integer as parameter, then it will call this constructor, the other constructor. Other constructor takes this 5 from integer I to A, then print constructor 2. So what's the output? Now, only constructor 2. We have also toString because we print. It will print what? toString, the value of A, then it will print the value of A. How much the value of A now? 5, because we pass 5 to X, and then we give this 5 to A. So the output is constructor 2, and the value of A is 5. Okay? Okay, so in this one, we have 3 constructors. So we have constructor overload. First constructor rectangle, we don't need any data from the user. Why? Because it's a rectangle that in the origin point 0, 0, so x and y 0, 0, and its height and width and height 1, 1. So we know the data. We did not ask the user to pass the data. Okay. The other constructor, it's draws the rectangle also in the origin point in the center. So it's take x as 0, y as 0, but we need the width and the height from the user. So we have two parameters, width and height. So we take from the user the width and the height, x, y, 0, 0. Width, we take it from the user to the width of the rectangle. Height, we take it from the user here to the height of the rectangle. Okay. Third constructor, another constructor. So how Java will differentiate between this three constructor? By passing parameter, yes. Different passing parameter will call different constructor, yes, that have same data type for the passing parameter. So here we need to draw it in any point. So we take x from the user, y from the user, the width and height. We take all the information because we don't know the value of x, y. It's not 0. We will take it from the user and the height and the width from the user also. Okay. What's the problem of this design? This way of writing the code is not good. Why? Look to this code. This one and this one. This one, this one. Almost same, yes, same part of code. Java allow us, instead of doing something like this, okay, we need three different constructor. But at the end, all the constructor, the default one will be like this. I need all the data. But first constructor, I know all the data. Second constructor, I know only the width and the height. So why not to, instead of doing this job and again doing same job and again doing this job, we can from one constructor call another constructor. So we can call from this constructor, instead of writing this code, we can just call this one, the most general constructor, and give it the parameter x is 0, y is 0, width is 1, height is 1. But how to call the constructor? I will give the name rectangle? No. I will use keyword this. So this as method means constructor of this object or of this class. So this means constructor. Okay, which constructor? This constructor, of course, we are inside this constructor. So we speak about this constructor or this one. Okay, which one? Java will know by how many parameters we have. Here, 4 parameters. This one take how many one? 2. So we don't speak about this one. This one have 4 parameters. So this means this constructor. So we are calling this constructor instead of writing all this code. Just we calling the constructor using this keyword. So the code become like this. From the first constructor, we know that we have 0 for x, 0 for y, 1 for width, 1 for height. Then we use the keyword this to call the constructor here, another constructor. Okay, same issue here. I don't need the whole code. I know x as 0, y as 0. Width, we take it from here and we pass it to this constructor. Height, we take it from here and we pass it to this constructor. So what's the meaning of this as a method? This as a method means this constructor or constructor of this class or of this method. Okay, so let's try to here do something else. Okay, so if I said I need another constructor x with string s. So this different constructor, yes, this constructor with one parameter, this with one parameter, but this one take integer, this one take string, okay? So okay, now if I said here from the first constructor, if I said this 5, okay, what's this mean? From the constructor, I said this 5. This means constructor of this class. So we are calling a constructor. Which constructor? This constructor or this one? This one. Constructor with integer value. Why? Because I passed integer value. So now if we create object using constructor X, what will happen? Okay, we call constructor X call constructor X with integer value. It will take A as 5 and it will print constructor 2. So the output is constructor 2 and the value of A is 5. Okay. Now, which constructor I call? Using this, I call which constructor? This one, the string one. It's a print constructor 3. So I created using constructor without parameter, called constructor with the string parameter, which is this one. It will print constructor 3. So it's print constructor 3. This is the idea of this keyword. Okay. Why we use it when we have more than one constructor overload? We can call from one constructor another constructor if it's repeat same data. Okay, let's check something else. Here, the exams that I sent to you, some exams. Let me check here. Of course, as you can see here, we have previous exam. What we have here, return. Okay, here we have enumeration and so on. You see this method? We always write toString method. So what's this method? When I printed here the object, okay, not printed here add, where is printing? Print the object here. What's this mean? I print the object D2 from drug, okay, this is a drug class. You have to go and search for toString method. So when I print the object, I print toString method. So the output here, drug name, then the text is and then the drug category. If you did not write it exactly like this, it will be a problem for you. Okay? I'm looking for something related to the constructor. I think it's not in this exam. Okay, it's here. Okay. As you can see here, we have person constructor, and we have this constructor with one parameter, this constructor with two parameters. We ask you to fix the code because we have repeated code. What's the repeated code? This part repeated. So when we ask you to fix it, we mean that you have to remove this part and call the other constructor. So you will write what here? You will write here this, then give how many parameters? 1, 2. First parameter, which is the name, it's written here. Okay? So you will write not reported. Okay, the other parameter is the age. So you will pass the age. Only this part, and you will take maybe here, I think we have A, B, C, D. So it's 10 marks. You have to focus on this one. Try it. Okay. The other part about encapsulation, how to apply encapsulation. You have to make this one private, the string private, the age private, and add here methods, get name, set name, get age, set age. Okay. This one, encapsulated person class should throw an exception with an error message if an illegal argument, illegal age is set. Age should be between 20 and 60. So in the set age, you have to check the age value. It must be between 20 and 60. If not, throw illegal argument exception. Okay, of course, you have to write in the main class the try catch for the encapsulation. So create object from encapsulated person and handle any expression in the main method. On this we take, it's simple, but you need to practice. Okay. Let's continue. toString method, I think I repeated it 3 times, 4 times. You have to know it. So this is another example. We have student class. We have constructor. We have toString method. What toString method do? Return some strings that will be printed when we print the object. So here we print the object S1. So what's the output will be? Okay, what's the output? Okay. Who knows what's the output? Just raise your hand. Okay, write the output here. Don't touch this because it's very sensitive. Sorry, this one have only X, just check. Okay, not correct.
Right. This one is 4.
Okay, what happened when we print the object? We call toString method. What toString method have? Okay, have a seat. Just have a seat. Yes. Okay, what we doing here? Look, we pass here 101 and jack. 101 for what? Rule number. So rule number now value 101. Okay, and we pass here jack as name. So the name here is Jack. Then we printed what? S1. When we print S1, we call toString method. You have to write it exactly as what we return from toString method, because it will print what exactly return method return. What it's return? Roll number, which is 101 plus space. Okay, we have a space plus name. Here we don't have city. Yes. Sorry, I removed the city because we did not take the city. I changed the code. So you was correct, but without column. Here we have a space, then we have Jack. Okay, enough. Remove this part. So what we print here? Okay. For example, if I write here name and column like this, then you will write here name and column. If I write here comma, for example, then you will print here also what? Comma. So you have to follow exactly toString how it's printing. So your answer was correct, but I thought the name is a text inside the double quotation. Okay, so exactly what toString print, you have to print. When you print what? When you print the object, you could use your own method to print, yes? Like print student data. We take that example. Okay, we make some printing. Okay, garbage collection, we will not speak about it. Java has some facility called garbage collection to free the memory. Okay. For example, in C language, maybe you don't feel it too much now, but when the computer memory was small, very small, before 20 years, something like this, we usually, if we have some mistake in the loops and something like this, the program will stop and tell you a message like a Stack Overflow. Yes, there is a famous website called Stack Overflow for programming. Maybe when you search for some code or idea, you will see it online. People ask some question about the programming and some people gives answer. So Stack Overflow means the memory full and overflow. That's why Java have something called garbage collection. Because usually in C language, you go and freeze the memory yourself. Yes. After, for example, this code from C language, we create pointer, we have memory allocation for the pointer. Then after we finish, we free the pointer from the memory. Java, we don't free the data from the memory manually. Java have something called garbage collection. It's free the memory. Yes, we can call it, but we don't need to call the garbage collection and clear the memory. Java itself will clear. Garbage means garbage, yes. Things that you throw in the trash. Okay. Collection, so it will clear the garbage from the memory. We don't care about it. We will have one example, then we will finish. What time we have to finish the lecture? 9:30. Oh, 9:30. Good. We still have enough time. I will open the attendance for you. So now we will have example. We will create this game. You know this game, yes? Rock, paper, or paper, scissor, or you know it also in Turkish. Tash, tash, makas. What's the third one? I did not hear you. Anyway, okay. So you know the game. You know the rule of the game. We will create it. I open the attendance. The code is 917209. Okay. So what's the idea here? The idea we need two players. Every player will have a hand sign, okay? Rock or scissor or paper, and we know the rule. Rock beats the scissor. So if rock and scissor, who will win? The rock. Scissor beats the paper, and paper beats the rock. So if paper rock, then paper is win. If rock, Caesar, rock is win. If Caesar and paper, Caesar is the winner. Yes? So we have two players. And what we need to know from about each player, for example, his name and the sign, rock or paper or scissors, what he choose as a sign. So we will create class for the players, yes. So we said we have two players, means two objects. What's the shared data between them? Name and sign for each one. We have constant sign, yes. We have rock, we have Caesar, we have paper. When we have constant text, what we create for it? Who knows? Enumeration. Like the days of the week, we have three constant sign, rock, Caesar, paper. So we will create enumeration for this three text. Okay, so we need a player. We need a player as a class. Then we will create two objects, a player one and a player two. We need enumeration for the sign, okay, to have rock, Caesar, and paper sign. What else? We need to manage the movement. We will manage it using a class. We will name it game arena. What game arena? The place that the game happened on it. We name it as arena. If you have a place that you do a game inside it, we name it arena. Yes, this is arena. So this is the rules. We mentioned it. If a player one play paper, player two play rock, then player one win. If player one plays Caesar, player two play paper, so Caesar wins the paper, so player one win. If player one play rock, player two play Caesar, then player one win. If player one and player two play same sign, then it's a draw. Draw or tie means same signs they play. Else, if not the player one win and not a draw, then the player two wins the game. Okay? So what we will do here? Here, the classes that we need. First of all, we need the player here, gamer, or I prefer player. Okay, gamer or a player. And here we have the hand sign of the player as enumeration. We have rock, Caesar, paper as enumeration. For the player, what we need, his name and the hand sign, which is come from enumeration, because we need only three specific signs. So it's as constant sign, yes? That's why we create it as enumeration. What else we need? We need to count how many times this player win. For each player, how many times a player win? So number of win as integer. What's this one? Counter, how many times the player win. And we need number of trial. It's a static. Why it's a static? Because it's not belong to a player one or a player two. We need to know how many times they play. So for both players. So it's not related to a player 1 object or a player 2 object. It's belong to the players generally, yes? So it's belong to the class. So each one will be affected. That's why it's static. And we have number of draw. Also, it's not related. Number of draw. Is it for player 1 or for player 2? For both. If it's for both, for all the object, so it's shared between all the objects, so it's static also. What's this one? Counter for how many times they draw. This one counter for how many times they play. This one counter for how many times a player win. So it's related to specific player, number of wins, so it's non-static. Okay. What we need here, constructor to take the name. I name it player, so to take the name from outside, and we have a method for the movement. What inside this method? We will read the input, the sign from the user. For example, we will ask the user to enter R for rock, P for paper, S for Caesar. Then we have switch case. If the case is R, then the hand sign equal rock. If it's S, then the hand sign is Caesar. If it's P, then the hand sign is paper. If it's a Q, then game over. We have like a flag, like a Boolean value. While it's false, game over. Okay, while it's false, we still playing. When it's become true, we over the game. So this is the idea for player. For the arena, it's like employee and company, yes? We will add 2 players to the arena, the place of playing, to play the game. So we need object from a player. We need 2 objects, G1, G2, or P1, P2. 2 players. Okay, to add 2 players to the arena. We need is game over. It's only a Boolean value. When any player press Q, then game over become true. Then we stop the game. Okay, I will show you the code. So we have 2 methods here. First method, add players or gamers, player 1 and player 2. We take it from outside. So we create object from player 1 and player 2 and pass it to add game, take it to the objects. And we have the game or playing the game or start the game. It's take movement from player 1 and player 2 until the exit. Okay, you have the code here. I have the code here for you. And let's see how to do it. So let's create a project. I will try not to write everything. I will copy some parts for the time, yes, because I described it for you. We try to finish it within this lecture, okay? So let's name it, okay, week 7, group 1, rock paper scissors game. Okay, so we have here, not this one. Where is it? Here. Okay. So I will create first the player or the gamer or a player, same. What we need in this class, the player. Why it's opened here? Not here. Okay, here, and this one. Yeah. Okay. First of all, we need enumerations, yes, for the hand sign. What we have in this enumeration? Rock, paper, scissor. I'm not sure if we have E at the end or not, or the spelling is correct or not. So double S we have CSI. I'm bad in the spelling. DSI double S, Caesar. Okay. For the player, what we have? We have the name, string, name. Yes. We have hand sign. Hand sign. What's the hand sign? Here. Enumeration. Yes. Sign. As I remember, we have integer, when, counter. It's count how many times the player win. We have static, integer, trail counter. How many times they played. And we have static, integer. Trials means number of tries. Draw, counter. How many times they draw. Let me check what else we have. So in player, we have static integer, number of draw, number of trail, number of win counter. We have name, we have hand sign. Then now we will have constructor, then we have the movement. Okay, the movement, as you can see here, just we have switch case. So we have here constructor. So constructor, player, it's take, string, name. What this constructor takes the name from outside to the name of the player here. So this dot name equal name means take the name from outside and take it to the variable name of the user. Okay. What else now? We have the movement here. Okay. we have void move. What inside void move? As I told you here, we read the data from outside. We ask the user to enter P for paper, S for scissor, R for rock, Q to quit. Then we take it, we read it inside variable, then what we do, we check the values. Okay. So I don't want to write it from the beginning, but move. So what's this move? This move method asks the user to give his move. R for truck, P for paper, S for scissor. So first we have to define the scanner, yes, to read from the user. So scanner input, for example, equal new, let me just import it. Where's import? Oh, scanner. Why double S? Let me write it again. Scanner. It's like this, yes? It's correct. Scanner. It's correct. Oh, double N, not double. I wrote it double N, yes? So import new input equal new scanner. What inside it? System dot N. Now we have the scanner. What we will do? First, we will ask the user to give us the movement. Enter R for rock. Yes. P for paper. S for Caesar. Okay. Then we will read the output. Okay. How to read it? First of all, we need character only. We need one character. Yes, R or P or S. So character, for example, anything, CH equal input dot, yes, next only. Okay. Here, okay, doesn't matter. Here, I will mention what happened here. Here, input dot next, it's read what? Text. But we need what? Only first character, one character only, not a full text. So dot character at 0. What this will read? Next, read next text. Character at 0, only take first character. Okay, maybe the user write R as the small letter, maybe R as capital letter. It will make it complicated for us. Usually, when we read something and we need to be sure about the case, is it uppercase or lowercase, we can use here a method dot to. We have to lowercase, we have to uppercase. We need it always to be lowercase, so dot to lowercase. Then dot character at 0. What's this doing? Okay, I will describe it for you. Input the scanner, yes, object. Dot next means read text. Dot to lowercase converts the read text to lowercase, the small character only. R small, P small, and so on. If the user enter more than one character, we need only the first character. So character at index 0, take only first character. So if the user write paper, the full text, we take only P. Okay. So we read here from the user. We need to do switch case. Okay, I will just copy it from here. Switch, player, choose. If R, then sign of the user, it's rock. If S, then sign of this object is hand sign dot Caesar. If P, then hand sign dot paper. If Q, then we will have game over. Okay, so we have this one. Okay, because no time to write everything. Okay, hand sign, it's a small letter, hand. Okay. Here, instead of a player choice, we write CH only. So CH, switch, CH case. If CH is R, then rock. If CH dot signs in S, then Caesar. P, then paper. Okay. If Q, then quit. Quit, we have a variable game over. We will make it as true. It's belong to game arena. We did not yet create a class game arena. Okay, we will create it now. Default means if the user did not choose R, did not choose S, did not choose P, did not choose Q for exit or quit, then what happened? It's invalid choice. What is invalid choice? It's a Boolean. We will define it here. So Boolean invalid choice. It's a start as false. So invalid choice, false. When invalid choice become true, then it's not a valid choice. The user have to repeat. Read it again. How to repeat? Do while. While what? While invalid choice is true. So we need another one here. This one, it's a close for this one, close for this one, close for this one. Okay. It's expected semicolon. Okay, what is invalid choice? Invalid choice, it's like Boolean value, flag. If the user give invalid choice, it's become true. While it's true, we will stay in the same place. When it's become false, then we go to the next. Okay? Okay. I'm following step by step with you. However, I have the whole code. Understand every part of this game, why we need it, and what its job. I think I did not close the attendance. I will open the attendance again for you. First, same code, yes? You remember the code? It's 91917 Okay, so far, I think this one dot rock dot Scissor dot paper. Okay. So this reading the movement, we still have something wrong here with us. You know what? Okay, imagine this case. We read from the user give us A, for example. A is not valid, yes? So invalid choice become true. We read next time, give us valid or invalid. What will happen? Invalid is still true, yes? So we will stuck in this while loop. If first time give us invalid choice and it's become true, it will stay true forever. So we will stay forever in this loop. So what's the solution? Before read again, we have to reset invalid choice to become false again. So why we need to make it false again? Because if it's become true and we did not return it to false in the next loop, it will stay for the next loop and the next loop and the next loop and forever as true, then you will not exit this loop. So after we exit the loop, we will print the sign if you would like. If you don't want, it's okay. We finish here the player. In the player, we have constructor to take the player name, move to read the movement from the user using the scanner and check what's the sign. Okay, now we will create a class game arena. Let's click here and create the class. Create class game arena. It's easy. It's created the class for us. Okay, but it still have the content. What first point in the class? We need here what? Game over. It's Boolean. Yes, it's belong to the class. When we have a variable that we can call it using the class directly. Then it's variable what? Static. The static variable, you can call it using the class name without creating object. Here, game over, it's a Boolean here, Boolean, game over. It's just to tell us that the game is over. But game over like this is non-static. You cannot call it directly using the name of the class. You need to create object and so on. We don't need object here. So we will make it as static because this value will stay with us the whole game. We exit. So after finish this part, we go to another part. We need to check if the game finished to exit. Okay, so it's a static. Now it's correct. You can call it using the class name. Okay, what in the game arena we have? Instead of just, we have here game over as Boolean to tell us if the game is over. First of all, we have a method to add the user here. We have two methods here. We have method to add gamer or add player, and we have method to start the game. Yes. So we have method. This method, what's this method doing? Add a player, only add a player. So take player1 dot p as the outside the player and so on. So we need two variables from the gamer or from the player. So we need to add here a player from this class to this class. Like employee, if we have two employees or more, we create object, yes? So we need two objects from a player, which is player1 and player2. So what we did here, we create in the game arena two objects from a class player. What the player here? It's the class, yes? Class player. We create player1, player2. From where this object come from? Outside. We have to add them to arena. So void add a player, like add employee to the company. We take it last time. Here we take a player object P1 from outside and player object P2 from outside. We take them to this dot P1 equal. So the object here inside the class for player1, it's equal to player1 that come from outside. So we add player1 and player2 from outside to the game arena class. So it's equal P1 and this dot player2 equal player2 that come as passing parameter from outside. Now we add two players to our arena. Now we can start the game. Okay, so we have here a start game method. What does start game method do? How to start the game? Take the sign from or the movement from first player and take the movement from second player, then process the movement. Check if player1 drop, player2 Caesar, then player1 win. If else, if player1 paper, player2 rock, then player1 win. and so on. So for the start game method, so we have another method, void start game. What we have inside it? Okay, we need to start. So P1 dot movement. Okay. What we name it here? Move. P1 dot move. Why it's not with us? We create object from player one, then player one dot move should be okay. What it says, cannot find a simple variable P1 of type player. Should be okay. I think there's no problem. What's the problem exactly? I don't know. Move here. Okay, anyway, player two dot move. Later I will check what's the problem here. Then after player one move here. Move means give us the sign. And after player two move, give us the sign. We need to process here, process the movement. What's the meaning of a process the movement? Process movement means we will check the movement of a player one and the player two. Is it inside the class here? Yes. So let me describe it for you here because we finished. So we have a few minutes only. So here in game arena, we have player one and the player two, and we have a static Boolean game over. Then we add a player. We take from outside the player one and player two to our player one, player two, that here. Then we start the game. We start the game. First, we check if it's game over or not. If not game over, then do while we have game over. When we have game over, finish. We display the score. If it's not game over, then player one dot move. What dot move? It's a method that reads the player choice and take the sign as rock, scissor, paper. Yes. So player two move also. Then we process the moves. How to process the move? It's only if statement. If game over, return. Don't do anything, just return. If player one dot sign equal paper and the player two dot sign equal rock, then who will win? Player one. So player one win counter plus plus. And we print player one win. Just printing, just if statement, counter, and the print. Else, if player one dot sign, hand sign, Caesar, and the player two dot sign, hand sign, paper, this means who will win? Player one also. Caesar win the paper. So player one counter, win counter plus plus. and we print player 1 win. Else, if the sign of player 1 drop, the sign of player 2 is Caesar, also player 1 win. So increase the counter of player 1 for win and print that player 1 win. Else, if a player 1 sign equal a player 2 sign, then it's a draw. So player 1 dot draw plus plus. We increase the counter how many times they draw. And we print a draw. Else, if not the player 1 win. And if it's not a draw, then the player 2 win. So we increase the counter of a draw of win for player 2, and we print that player 2 win. After finish, we can print the result here. The name of a player 1, the sign of a player 1, the name of a player 2, the sign of a player 2, and we increase number of trials. After finish, okay, this one moves, this one move. How many times we play? We increase it by 1. Okay, here's the process of the movement. Display of the score, just print the counters. We count the result, yes, for each player. So we print here the name of a player 1, how many times a player 1 win. The name of a player 2, how many times a player 2 win. Then how many times a draw. It's a player dot draw counter. How many times they play, a player dot trials. Okay, that's all. In the main method, what we need in the main method, create object from a player 1 and give it the name. Create object from player 2 for player 2 and give it name. Then create object from the arena class to play the game. Then add a player P1 and P2 to the arena. Then start the game. Start the game will call this start the game. Move 1, move 2, process the movement. Then after finish, display the score. Let's run it. It's waiting for us to enter. Okay, because I did not give message. I should give message here. A play R for rock play. So let's play R, for example. So player 1 rock, player 2, for example, Caesar. Then player 2, a player 1 win. Then another time, for example, P and R. Then player 1 win. Okay, P and S, then player 2 win. When we want to finish, just press Q or quit, then player 1 win 2 times, player 2 win 1 time, and number of trials is 3. Okay, that's all. Any question? I will send this code for you. Okay, I think I sent it for you, but I'm not sure. So I will send. I sent most of the codes for you today. Sorry? Autoplay? Yes, I want to complete it, but I don't have time in the lecture. Here we can have auto move. Here you can see it. Instead of read, now what we did, random. Okay, we create a random variable or random object. Then instead of a player choice, now we have a BC choice, random dot. Next integer 3 means take between 0 and 2. 0, 1, 2, 3 values you have. This, so case 0, we take a draw. Case 1, we take a scissor. Default means case 2, we take it as paper. This become auto. You can come here and instead of player 1 move, okay, player 2, I need it to be the computer. So I make it auto. Just let me check the name of the auto. Okay. So I think okay, you oh now player 1, it's a normal player. Let me just take it directly here. Dot auto. Player 1 is a normal player. Player 2 now it's a computer. So when you run here, for example, I will make this PC. So when you run first player, read second player, the computer play directly. You can make both automates. What?
There probably was the problem in the first two because it showed the break. It probably was a problem in the first two because it showed the break.
Why? Most of the students, there was no problem. Okay. Let me just wait. Just let me stop the recording.